Edison Elementary. For the first month that we were here, my mother took us back and forth to Angeles Mesa on 4th Avenue and 54th for a month because she didn't want to take us out of that school, and all we had was maybe a month and a half. So back and forth to and from LA, and we learned a lot of things about traveling to and from LA to come up here. This was a better place to be.
Yes.
So in the
That was
60s,
from LA.
my parents decided to move us up here in 1963, and things grew. We were the first, but not the first, because I've got a girlfriend whose parents moved up here it was either 1960 or 1961. So it grew. I went to Edison Elementary in the 6th grade. My siblings went to Edison, all but Stephanie. Then we went over to Elliott on Lake.
Yes.
Okay, that was our junior high school.
Yeah.
Then we left Elliott and we went over to John Muir. We went to John Muir and it grew.
Yeah.
But there was a great deal of discrimination here. A great deal of discrimination that they don't talk about. They only talk about the Black Altadena, which never existed. It's never existed. Yes, Black people migrated up here, but this was not a haven or a safe haven for Black folks. We could not go to La Cañada.
Yes.
We couldn't go to Glendale.
Yeah.
We couldn't go to Arcadia. We darn sure couldn't go to San Marino. San Marino was owned by the John Birch Society. We couldn't go to San Marino, and San Marino, I think today, is still the richest community in the country. But see, San Marino is old generational money. White folks.
Yeah.
Generation. Their money goes back to the 1500s.
Yeah.
They will always have big money. Always.
Yeah.
People don't talk about San Marino.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't need that notoriety.
Yeah.
They don't need to be out there in the public. They don't want folks over there. They surely don't want Black folks over there.
Yeah.
Now, today, there are Black folks in San Marino. There is a heritage area for Black people over on the east side of Altadena. It still isn't Black Altadena. And when they refer to Black Altadena, they're talking about the west side of Altadena. The numbers are like this. Altadena is 42% Hispanic. 18% Black. Does that sound like it's Black Altadena? I don't think so.
And this is recent?
Yeah, this is recent. And when we moved up here, you might have had maybe, I don't know, Andy Sotelo is who I went to school with. He was Mexican. One. Then the Mijares family, Arlene and her family. But it was sparse. Now it's completely different. And Black Altadena, based on the way I see it, when you call it Black Altadena, that justifies not giving us anything.
Sorry.
Okay, that justifies not giving us anything. And a
that's
white
true.
woman, and I won't say her name,
That's true.
but a white woman told me that she thinks the reason we got nothing up here, we didn't get the fires put out, is because they considered it Black Altadena.
Okay.
So they didn't do anything up here.
Right.
They didn't do anything. And even though we know that the fire department was really in a quandary because there was no water.
Yeah.
Okay, there was no water.
Yeah.
Tell me why there was no water.
Yeah.
When they knew at the same time that we knew that this was coming. They knew a week ahead. They knew 7-8 days before this happened on January 7th. They knew that it was coming because the news kept telling us that this hurricane was coming.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a hurricane of fire.
Yeah.
It was also a dry hurricane.
Yeah.
So if you're telling the people, your audience, that these winds, these terrific winds at 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, you know they're coming, damn it, pardon my vernacular, I don't cuss in front of kids. You knew it was coming, why didn't you do something about it?
Yeah.
Why didn't you do something about it? Because something could have been done. They could have turned off the power, but they're not going to turn off the power because as long as they keep the power on, that means money.
Yeah.
That means money. They're not going to lose that money.
Yeah.
That's okay because you're getting ready to lose a whole bunch of money right now because you didn't turn
A
off
lot.
the power.
Yeah.
You never thought about saving the lives of everybody in this community. They didn't think about it. So I look around, as I look around, I'm going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
How do you burn all of this?
Yeah.
And it continues to go and you don't try to put anything out.
Yeah.
Come on. The fire department, what are you doing? No money, no water, no nothing. So from what I hear, the fire department was told to stand down. Stand down.
They were?
Yes, that's what I've heard.
Okay.
I haven't heard that from the cat's mouth or the horse's mouth. Stand down. And that means don't do anything. Don't do anything. This is a $50 million community. Maybe a $75 million community. Palisades is a $100 billion community. They're not hurting like Altadena is. Of course they're hurting.
Yeah.
This is devastation for everybody.
Yeah.
But not to the same tune that this community is hurting. These people, I just talked to these people down here, they're not building back.
Oh.
They're not,
yeah,
there are
that
a lot
makes
of
me
people.
sad to hear
They're
that.
not, the people are not building back.
Yeah.
Because the Altadena that I grew up in is gone.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's gonna be different.
Yes,
For sure.
it's gonna be different.
Yeah.
This is gonna be museum style.
Yeah.
This is gonna be plaster and concrete and the cold look. No trees, no hills. Look at the hills. Look at the mountains. They're sad. My mother would just be so sad.
We were talking about how
Yeah,
they
we were
bald.
talking
They
about
look
that.
bald.
They look bald. They're sad. They're
Yeah.
scarred. They're gone.
scarred.
Look at that. They're
So you don't
black.
think that there is any hope, like any hope of it?
I didn't say that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's always hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have
The
to
silver
hope.
lining.
There has to be a silver lining.
Yeah.
There has to be. But the grief,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and the utter destruction,
Yeah.
you have to work hard to see the silver lining.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that there is a silver lining.
Yes.
I know that there is. You gotta work hard to see it because
Yeah.
I was at church. I went down to Jackie Robinson Center. I thought I'm not gonna go back to LA without coming up here.
Yeah.
This is heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
This is heartbreaking.
But if anybody that's from Altadena or still lives here, you have to see it.
You have-
It's something that you just have to face.
I'm taking these videos so that my other family can see this.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this going, they're going to see this, but they're not going to get the same thing.
Yeah, of
You
course
gotta
not.
be here
You
to
got to
see
be
it.
here.
You got to be here
Yeah.
to see it. There's nothing like this. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
And we've had fires. I was telling
Yes.
my whole family that
Yes.
we've had fires through the years, and they've come pretty far down. But before these fires would occur, they would always have the fire department
Yes.
stationed around the city anytime
Yes.
there was red flags.
Yes.
And I've noticed we live in Orange County now. Have for years, 13 years. But growing up in the 90s, 80s, late 80s
Yeah.
into the 90s, we would see the fire department all around up at the corner,
Yeah.
the blinking orange light. Anytime there was red flag warnings, but it just stopped. And then the controlled fire burns. They would do a lot of those brush fire clearances growing up, and all of a sudden, none of that, and then
No.
this.
And you know what I believe? And I don't care what anybody thinks. I really don't. I really don't.
Yes.
I believe that because Altadena is non-progressive, Altadena has been the same for 60 years.
Yeah.
I've been up here 61 years, tad bit longer. Altadena never changed. Altadena never changed. It's been the same. Yeah, they put in Super King. Yeah, they put in Aldi and Grocery Outlet.
Yeah.
But Ralph's left.
Yeah.
Bonds never came in. They put a Jack because they had to. They had Mickey D over here on Lincoln.
Yeah.
They had to put Jack over here on Lake.
Right.
Okay, but you don't see any kind
Yeah.
of big money generating entities up here at all.
True.
Like a Walmart
Okay.
or something like that.
Well, Walmart used to be here on Lincoln.
On Lincoln.
Gone.
On the market though.
The Walmart market was
Yeah.
over there on Lincoln.
But it
I
only
remember that.
lasted for a couple of years.
Only
It wasn't there
lasted a couple
long.
years.
Yeah.
Because this is a bedroom sleepy town.
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
We have to go way out
Yeah.
to go to the grocery store. You'll
Yeah.
never get a Trader Joe's up here.
No.
That ain't gonna happen.
And that's
Okay.
what we need.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll never get a Walgreens up here.
Yeah.
You'll get Rite Aid, and Rite Aid used to be thrifty, so
Right.
they have to be here.
Yeah.
Rite Aid has to be here. And that's simply because all of the older people that have to get prescriptions can't go all the way down to CVS and Walgreens into Pasadena.
Yeah.
So you got to give them at least one. At least one. So Lincoln, and I remember shopping bag on Lincoln, Market Basket was on Fair Oaks, and we had Ralph's and something else over there on Lake. And remember, Loma Alta is a major thoroughfare. Loma Alta is the last street in the community, the last east and west street. The north and south is Lincoln, Fair Oaks, and Lake.
Yeah.
The other main thoroughfares are not main thoroughfares. You got Wampello, you got Palm, you got Pine, you got Marathon, you have Altadena Drive. East and west is Altadena Drive. Mariposa, Greenwood Key, Woodville. That's the east of Altadena. So Altadena has a lot, but Altadena has lost. Altadena will never, ever be the same.
It won't.
And remember, there was a time when Altadena, nobody knew Altadena was on the map.
Right.
Okay.
But
Just
always
a
have to
very,
tell people that way.
like Altadena, we're Altadena Dairy. I would get that.
That's all they could think of. Was
I
Altadena.
started knowing about it when that dude won that money.
Oh yeah,
That's when it
that's
started
true.
to catch a little
They're like
bit.
Altadena, okay.
Altadena.
Pasadena.
Where is that? Yeah, where is that?
Dana?
Altadena.
No.
I've heard of Pasadena, but I've never heard of Altadena. OCAC.
Yeah.
Pasadena is synonymous with the Rose Bowl,
Yeah,
JPL,
yeah,
Yeah.
Rose Parade,
yeah,
UCLA and the Rose Bowl game.
yeah.
But what people don't know, we could see if you look real hard, JPL is right straight down
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
JPL is in Altadena. Huh?
Yes.
They think Altadena, huh?
Yeah.
No. JPL is in
Altadena,
Altadena.
and right
not
down the street.
Pasadena. Right down the street.
Yeah.
Altadena Drive dips in
That's the border.
in
Yeah.
JPL.
Yeah.
But all of the notoriety that Pasadena gets, JPL, Caltech,
Yeah.
PCC, Rose Parade, Rose Bowl game, all of that.
Yeah.
Pasadena. BS. JPL is in Altadena.
Yeah.
Okay, but we didn't get that. Altadena never got that. So Altadena doesn't get the acknowledgement
Yeah.
because Altadena is a small bedroom community. We don't have parades up and down here.
Yeah.
If we have a parade, it's me and my folks walking up and down the street.
Basically,
That's
yeah.
it. Okay?
Neighborhood party.
A neighborhood party, that's all. So Pasadena has everything else. Altadena has nothing. Altadena is a small, unincorporated town. Altadena is the step-daughter to LA County and the step-sister to the city of Pasadena. And the city of Pasadena don't care nothing about that step-sister.
Because at one point I've heard Pasadena trying to do this vote to take over Altadena back in the day.
Oh no.
There
Yeah,
was something
but-
they were trying to incorporate,
Right.
but that never happened.
An annex. They were trying to
I
create
heard
an
that.
annex. But because Altadena doesn't generate any commerce, no money, Altadena doesn't generate any money. Now you've got this tax bracket up here, these expensive homes. But because Altadena doesn't have any businesses, all folks do up here is pay taxes. And these expensive homes that are so unnecessarily expensive. That place right there at McNally, that was $2 million.
Yeah.
$2 million. And it was uninhabitable.
Yeah.
Why was that $2 million? Nobody can answer that. And when I spoke to the agent, he says, well, there's two on a lot. You got two shacks on a lot for $2 million. Really?
They're
Really?
paying
That
for-
makes sense to somebody?
They're paying for just the area, the location.
Location.
They're gonna knock all that down.
And guess what? It'll never be the same.
It'll never be the same.
It'll never, ever be the same.
And I wanted to add, they do have Black-owned businesses because I know Carolyn Roddy, she owns Pampered Ladies Florist. So
Florist.
there are small mom and pop shops
That's all.
throughout Altadena that are family-owned.
Yes.
So that
The Red
you'll see
Hen.
that. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
diners.
Yeah, the Red Hen,
Yeah.
Walter Butler Shoe.
Yes.
The Pampered Lady.
Yeah.
Simply Divine on Woodbury. And I
Yes.
didn't even know she was there. I happened to see
Yeah.
that on the news.
Yeah, yeah.
Then there's somebody else on oh God, what's the name, on Lake, directly across from Aldi and from Grocery Outlet. I can't think of the
You might
name,
know.
but they've been there
I'm
for a while.
thinking
The African store, the African Jamaican
I think I know what
store.
you're talking. I don't know the name of it, but I know what you're. And then they also have beauty shops, barber shops throughout
there-
Altadena
there's-
as
Just
well.
in time, but that
Black
one is on
owned.
Lake.
Oh, just in time. That's on Lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used
That's
to go
on
there
Lake.
when I was.
And they had to move. Everybody moved.
Yeah.
And the girls that were there moved out to Monrovia.
Okay.
They moved
Mhm.
out to Monrovia. But it's really going to be interesting to see who is able to either build back, come back, and be a part of this.
I want to thank you so much for just sharing your story. Are there any last words you would like to leave with us?
Do I want to leave any last words? I want to say, be strong. Be very strong, whether it's for yourself or Altadena, both. Be strong. Be prayerful.
Yes.
Know that this is a season of change.
Yeah.
That this is simply about making a concerted change and a concerted difference. And if you want to build back, by all means. If you don't, by all means. God has something for you.
Yeah.
So just know that. And this, the Altadena that we once knew, it is over.
Yeah.
It is over
Yeah.
and it is gone. It's going to
Yeah.
build back to be something that will not look like Altadena.
Yeah.
It'll build back to be something else.
Yeah.
But be strong, be safe, be prayerful, and understand that at least we have the memories of Altadena.
Yes.
At least we have that, and it's not the same. Just be strong.
And this is Yolanda. What's your last name?
Yolanda Williams.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me here on the corner. Loma Alta and Alta Pine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
You're
Bye-bye.
quite welcome. You're quite welcome.